Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of Black Leather Couch. Today's guest is Alison Barber. She owns Taboo, which is an adult store in Richmond, Virginia. They sell porno, sex toys, fetish wear, basically all the fun stuff. I've known her for probably 10 plus years, and in addition to being a really cool entrepreneur, she's also just a really cool chick. So hope everybody enjoys learning something about her, and I had a fun time doing the interview, so let's get started. Well, thank you for doing this in the first place, because it sounds kind of odd when I propose it to you. You're like, yeah, whatever.
Well, when you proposed it to me, I think I was like gonna have a baby in a week, and I was like,
that's true,
yes,
yeah.
But ask me later.
Ask me at another time.
But not now.
Exactly. I usually start off with the basics, so I will do that. Were you born here, or where did you come from? Where did you? That's what Fabian said.
Is it really?
He goes, yes, I was born in your house. Are you from Virginia?
I am. I was born in Richmond, Virginia, and lived in Northern Virginia until I was like 3, and then came back. So
Northern
pretty
Virginia,
much
like
only Virginia,
DC?
Springfield. Yep.
There's a lot of people that go away and come back.
Yeah.
Is it that bad?
Yeah, I know. I was 6 months old, and I was like, I hate it here. I gotta get away.
Packing up
but then Springfield wasn't much better, and so I came back.
Good home, family life, or a lot of people have products of divorce and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, no, parents are still happily married after a million years.
That's good.
They're local too.
One of the rarities, I guess.
Yes.
That's good.
Yeah.
What about school and stuff like that? Were you a smart kid? Were you a?
Oh, I'm brilliant.
Well, I know you're brilliant now, but
I was a smart kid who almost flunked out of high school. I hated school, and I did not apply myself or live up to my potential.
That's what I like to consider myself one of those people.
Yeah.
I got C's and stuff, but I just didn't care. I was really more interested in what everyone was doing rather than what we were learning.
I not only didn't care, I was very angry that that somebody was telling me what to do, that I had to go to school. So
which is why you're your own boss now.
Well. Exactly. I've found my niche.
Inevitability of becoming your own boss.
Yeah.
Did you went to college or anything? Or?
I went to VCU, straight out of high school, and then dropped out for about a semester and a half, went back part-time, and graduated after a total of like 8 years. So I finished, but and on the day of my graduation, it rained and snowed at the same time. It's like the world didn't expect it to happen, but it did.
And it was in the middle of summer. No.
Yeah, exactly.
It rained and snowed, and the sun came out, and the moon fell out of the sky.
I know. There were rainbows and fireworks.
What did you graduate with? What did you get?
Fashion merchandising. I started off as English, and then I switched to fashion merchandising.
Yeah, because you like books and stuff, right?
I do. I like.
You're
books
a reader.
And stuff.
I know your tattoos.
I'm a reader and a writer, but I didn't want to be a teacher, and there wasn't much that I could do that an English major was going to get me that I wanted. So I kind of decided.
See, I never did the whole real college thing. I did like the trade college thing, so I don't even know what a lot of those programs are. Like, I don't know what they mean. I'm an English major. I'm a sociology major. I don't even know what that means.
Yeah.
So I try to just nod and smile and pretend I know what you're talking about.
Well, it just means that you like that thing, but college will not help you in the future at all.
Yeah. I learned what's the big one that everyone says that they're studying, but then they can never get a real job with it.
Art history.
Something like that. Yeah.
There's a lot of them. There's a lot of things to do. Well, you can get. There's like 2 real jobs probably like in the state of Virginia. You know that you're qualified
that
for,
require
that you'll
those.
like, and yeah. But you switch to fashion merchandising, and then you have the whole retail world.
Is that what that is? Is just
I
think that's what Dana got too, right?
Yes. Yeah. We were in school together.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
See, this is the other thing about this program is people that I've known for years, because I've known you for over a decade.
Yeah.
At least.
Way more than that, I would say.
I hate to admit how old I am now. So, but yeah, I'm learning all new things about all of my friends, including Fabian, and he and I have been best friends forever.
Yeah.
So it's cool. I'm doing this because I've been watching a lot of podcasts and listening to lots of stuff, and I've always liked that format. So
yeah,
away I go. Well, okay, well, going back to the book thing then. I know you've got a bunch of authors tattooed on your back and stuff, right? Because
I do.
You read a lot.
Yeah.
Is there one book, or I say book because I know it's probably going to be a book, but is there a book or a movie or a album that completely changed the course of what you thought your life was going to be? Like, just from experiencing it, or?
I don't think so. They're definitely, I would say, as far as influencing me, if I were to narrow down to one book, it would be Jack Kerouac's Desolation Angels, because I think that's the first book that I read that I really started to appreciate writing for the sake of writing. And I don't remember how old I was. It was probably like early high school, like I was probably 15 or something, but it was, it wasn't just a good book, it was really well written.
Was it required reading, or was it
no,
just...
No, I just picked it up.
See, that's the thing people always ask me, have you read blank? Was I supposed to in school?
Yeah, if I was supposed to in school, I didn't.
Yeah, oh really? Well, but you took it another level and actually read.
Right. See, again, it's because nobody told me to.
Yeah.
So I did.
Well, that's the thing, if you like it, then you'll do it on your own.
Right.
And that's the thing I don't think they teach really well now, is to want to learn rather than to want to pass a test.
Yeah. I've gone back and read a lot of the books that I was supposed to read in high school and never did, and really enjoyed them. Like after a while you realize
when it's not
these
forced
actually
on
might
you.
be good books.
Yeah, when it's not
that I just
forced on you
ignored
too.
because it was being forced on me.
Yeah. I'm sure I read most of the required reading, if not. I never invested in Cliff's Notes, but I always borrowed them from other people, or at least had them tell me what the key points were.
Yeah.
So, well, that's cool, because different people, like, in what they do, sometimes the things that influence them the most have absolutely nothing to do with what their job is, or what their, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
And I don't think that the content of that book influenced my life that much, just the way that I enjoyed it and what made me, where I went from that as far as my own reading and writing.
That was just
and
the
that
turning
kind of
point
thing.
of, that happened to be the book that made you think writing and reading and stuff is cool. I got you.
Yeah. Although I'd been writing and reading before that, but it kind of opened up it allowed me to look at writing as much more free and realize how much you can do, and you don't have to.
I got you. That's cool.
Yeah.
So there'll be a lull here because I'm trying to think. I try to get it to flow, but I'm still working on that process.
Whenever there's a lull, I can just do a little dance.
Do a dance, yeah. That'll be all it is. It's just you dancing. So how would you describe yourself now? Like, what you do? Like, I can say she owns.
Like what my occupation is.
What your actual occupation is, because I can say the joking versions of what you.
Well, my license plate says porn peddler.
Yeah.
I can just say that.
You just,
I guess I'm an adult store owner, although I feel like porn peddler is probably
more accurate,
more fun and
yeah. I mean, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Because even adult store owner doesn't encompass everything that you're doing.
Yeah.
Because like people that like.
I am the queen of porn.
There you go. Because there's people that like own football teams and they're football team owners, but I wouldn't think that they know, the first thing about being a football player. You know what I mean? So, but I guess porn store owner is just as close as anything else.
I like porn peddler. Let's do porn peddler.
Porn peddler. Okay. How'd you get into that? I mean, you used to work in the store that you ended up taking over, right?
Yes. Yeah. I was working retail. I've always worked retail. I've never been like a restaurant person. I don't understand how people work around food all day and put up with
wait on people.
Yeah.
I've never done that either. I couldn't.
Yeah, no, me neither.
That's why I'm so forgiving of people that that do that. Like, I'll tip way better than I should sometimes. And unless they're so bad that it's like you just need to get out of this business. Yeah.
That would have been me. But anyway, it wasn't. Luckily for everybody, I did retail instead. And applied randomly at Taboo Lingerie, which was a small lingerie store that had been around for a year, I think, at that point, and started working as a sales associate. And it was Mostly lingerie, no movies at that time.
It was small.
Toy room, yeah.
It was small. I didn't realize it had only been open for a year. I thought they'd been open for a lot longer.
No, they opened in 99.
That means I met you like right at the beginning of it all then, too. Wow, that's crazy.
I knew it'd been more than a decade.
Oh, yeah, that's crazy. Good God.
But yeah, they've been open only about a year, and they were marketing themselves as Richmond's upscale adult store and had a lot of, I won't even say nice lingerie, but more conservative lingerie.
Gotcha.
And a small toy room and stuff. And after about a year, I became the manager. I really liked it, and I fit in well, and I had good ideas, and so the owner started giving me more and more responsibility. And a year after that, business was just failing. I'm like, I had good ideas, and the business failed.
Business was failing.
But it wasn't doing well, and so I decided that I wanted the opportunity to take over the lease, buy the inventory, and kind of start over and do my own thing. Yeah.
Was the fact that it was failing the reason the previous owner got out of it, or was it?
She kind of opened it, kind of on a whim, like just had a little extra cash to spend and thought, I'll try this, and wasn't really a retail oriented person. She just thought it would be a good idea, and it just didn't work out.
Thought she was filling a niche that nobody had filled, kind of thing.
The way that so many small businesses don't work out. You think you have a good idea and you try, but it's not really your thing, and if you don't put everything into it, it's not going to work out.
Sometimes you have to put more than that.
Right, yeah.
And that's the other reason people go under.
Yeah.
So you took it over, and...
I did. In December 2002 is when Taboo Lingerie closed and Taboo opened. I dropped lingerie off the name because I wanted to focus more on toys and movies. At that point, we brought movies in, but it was just VHS. Like, I think there were like 5 VHS tapes in the store when I bought it. And phased out some of the more conservative lingerie and brought in hipper, sexier, trendier, younger styles, and just kind of changed the whole image from upscale to dirty, which worked way better.
It sounds like it.
Yeah.
At the time, was there anything like that was competition? Like Priscilla's
was there. Priscilla's opened right before or right after the original Taboo Lingerie did. They opened right around the same time.
Right up the street.
So
too.
yeah.
That figures.
Yeah. So they were already there.
They, I mean, that was probably. I wouldn't say there was a boom of that sort of thing, but I mean, stuff started happening in the media, not the media, but in TV and movies and stuff like that, where a lot of that stuff was a lot more acceptable.
Yes.
Like saying shit on TV and stuff like that started to inch its way in.
Yeah.
So I can see.
And sex toys on TV too, like the Jackrabbit and Sex and City, and stuff like that.
Never watched that, but yeah.
Yeah.
I know what I've heard of it.
You sit at home every weekend and have a marathon.
No. Was there any time during the transit? Well, not during the transition, but after you took it over and started changing it, that you thought this just isn't going to work? Like, you thought about leaving it all, or?
No, I think I was scared in the beginning, but I think I pretty quickly realized that things might be okay. I think I was always confident in the changes I was making. It was just a question of whether or not it's going to be enough, and I had a feeling that people wanted something different that Taboo Lingerie wasn't providing, but I didn't know if that was enough to be a successful business, because like I said, everybody has their idea of what people want, but that doesn't mean that they're going to be able to make a living offering it to people. So
was there a shift in what you were hoping for after it started rolling? Like, I mean, you said you had a lot of great ideas, and you took it over and you decided to change what it was, but was there any part of that where it was like, all right, I thought this was going to work, but this isn't going to work, or did you?
No, I would say it's more that it developed over time. That initially I thought, I want to get rid of the old-fashioned lingerie, and I want it to be trendier, and I want a lot more movies and toys, and I want sexy sales associates, and that was what I had. Like, that's where
that's why you didn't take my application.
And I've been calling you, trying to get you to apply for forever.
Naked Mondays scares people away.
Yeah.
For if I was there anyway.
Oh no.
Yeah, if I was there. Well, what's the most fun about running the place then? Everything. I think you pretty much answered that question before I asked it.
Yeah. Well, I think it's fun. It's super fun to be your own boss, even though it's maddening and awful at times too, and incredibly frustrating. And I'm going to have a heart attack any day now. But it's really fun. But then it's also fun to work in the adult industry. I mean, how could that not be fun? Like, there's nothing about that isn't fun. And then just being able to have ideas and put them into action without having to run them by a million people. And, I'm just constantly trying to think of ways to improve the store, and that's fun to me.
Like it's a challenge.
Right, yes. Yeah.
Well, I mean, like I said, knowing you for all this time too, I've seen the curve of just like empowerment that it's given you too, because I literally remember what the store was the first time I walked in, how tiny it was and everything, and then now that's just where the toys are,
right.
And the
where
whole
half
rest,
the toys are.
yeah, exactly, and the rest of it's just expanded so much. It's impressive. It really is. And now you've gone to like 3 stores now, right?
Yep. Yeah, the 3 stores. Yeah, the expansion on Broad Street was kind of slow, and we opened up 1 room and then another. That building, the layout is so crazy that it really allowed me to say, well, let me devote this much space to floor, and then maybe a little bit more, and then there was an opportunity to move my office upstairs, so that gave me a whole other room, which is when we opened our fetish room. So definitely, 12 years ago, it was a totally different.
Oh yeah.
Totally different in the size and shape, as well as just the atmosphere. I mean, there was like wallpaper borders around the ceiling, and like awful purple carpet, and weird lacy curtains, and tacky neon lip. I mean, it was totally different. So it's been, Taboo's my baby, and I've been raising her right.
Yeah.
She's over her awkward period.
I haven't been to the new stores yet. Work. But plus, I mean, I can only buy so many toys before I
There's new stuff coming out every day.
I know. I did get some gifts for some loved ones. A loved one. That sounds creepy if you say it for multiple people.
For your
Here's
mom,
stepmom.
brother,
That's bad. Is there anything that you learned from the first couple, or from the first store, and how that expanded, that changed what you did for, like, you said you got to like branch out into the old, or the first location.
Yes.
But the new one, you basically took over something that was already there and gutted it and redid it.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. I think it was a huge difference between how I developed the first store and what I did with the second store. The first store was very gradual, and the second store, I had the contractor in the building to look at it, and I said, I'm thinking about taking down this wall and maybe this wall, and he was like, yeah, just take down all the walls. And I was like, yeah, okay, we'll do that. And then he said, we realized the roof wasn't in the greatest shape, and we're gonna have to replace the roof. And he was like, well, if you ever want to just like add a second story, now's the time to do it. And I was like, you're right. So it changed. I
remember that. Yeah.
So we really literally like gutted it, took the roof off. I mean, there was almost nothing left standing, just the exterior walls. And that was all that was there. So we essentially built a whole new building, which I learned from that 2 things. 1, you can do a lot more and end up with something completely awesome if you just do it all at once. And 2, it is always going to take way more time and money than you initially think it's going to. Because it's like, it was supposed to be ready in November, and we opened the very end of the following April. So it was just pushed way back, and the cost just kept going up and up. But
there's always been problems with like city ordinances and stuff like that too.
It's crazy.
Are all of them within Richmond, like in the Richmond city?
Broad Street stores in Henrico, and Patterson's in Henrico, which is actually more difficult than the city.
Oh, really?
The city was difficult because we were building something new, and there were all these things like we have to have 2 water fountains of different heights, and there has to be a wall, but the wall can't be too close to this wall. But if there is no wall, then a blind person might run into it. So there has to be a wall. But I mean, it's just, and then we have to have 2 handicap accessible bathrooms, even though we don't have public restrooms. We have 2 enormous bathrooms taking up space, and the sizes of the dressing rooms. I mean, just everything. It blew my mind how many guidelines there are.
All those people making all that money coming up with all those rules.
Yeah. And a million inspections, which push time back, and then suddenly it's spring,
and now you've got
like, we're gonna be open for Christmas. All right, Valentine's Day. Okay.
Easter.
Just by the end of the year, please.
Yeah.
Next Christmas.
But you're still rolling with them. You have any more plans for anything more yet, or are you just letting them ride for a little while?
The Midlothian store opened last April. We're actually about to have our 1-year anniversary in a couple weeks. Yeah.
God,
and
I do need to get out more.
Yeah, I know. And the Patterson store opened in June, so it was a super crazy summer with 2 stores opening back to back. And after that, I'm kind of just ready to relax for a little while. Although we're getting to the point now where the stores are, holding their own, and I would be open to expanding again, but the ordinances are so strict that finding the perfect property isn't going to happen without. It's either going to fall into my lap, and if it did, then I would just
jump on it,
do it right now, even though I'm exhausted. Or it's going to take a lot of effort to find it, and I'm not going to put forth the effort right now. So we'll kind of see what happens.
Yeah, I don't know how you do it in the first place. It takes a lot of guts to do all that crap to begin with. So. But I keep up with it, so it's not like I didn't know the things. I mean, I see every once in a while now. We used to see each other a lot more, but such is life, right? Because now you're a mom, too.
I know.
Which is also weird.
It's crazy. Don't tell my children anything that happened.
Yeah, well, except for the fact that there's a lot of it that's been videotaped.
Yeah.
Not in that way, but yeah. Well, from the store standpoint, then, before we get into the whole kids and husband and family aspect of your life, is there a favorite? Do you have a favorite story from the store?
Oh, I should have expected that question. But I didn't. I don't know.
You can search your brain. It's okay.
Yeah, I kind of feel like nothing exciting happens, and then I'll think of, oh yeah, but then there was that one time, and people are like, that's something.
That was not a one time.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know that I have a favorite story. I think every day is different and interesting.
True, that is true. Well, what about like Vegas and stuff like that? You guys won an award. And
yeah.
That
We won Store Erotica's Independent Store of the Year. We went to Vegas to accept that, and that was a lot of fun. Myself and Michelle, who is the general manager now, and Felicia, who had left me, but she's back with me.
I saw that other thing. Actually, I saw her somewhere. I don't know. Richmond's a small city, so I run into people all the time.
Yeah, but we all got taboo tattoos and
did
a lot of things we don't remember.
What's the best part about Vegas?
The best part about Vegas?
That's the best part about Vegas.
Yeah,
is
exactly.
You can go and forget.
Totally.
That's why I got married there.
I hope you remember.
Some of it. Actually, I forgot a lot more of the reception here than I did the party in there. Because we get back here and just... Yeah.
But we've been nominated for awards for AVN and for a bunch of places. So for AVN, we've been to Vegas and we've been to Florida and... so traveling's awesome, and we haven't done that in a while, so I'm looking forward to
well, now the stores are building and growing and rolling on their own. Maybe more stuff will start coming in, so you can start doing that.
Exactly.
Is there a... Well, I asked you this story, but you didn't really give me a real story, but your life is kind of one... Every day is a different story, so I can understand why that's more difficult, but is there something that people wouldn't guess about you? Like... Most people see you as the porn peddler, and you got women's legs and butts plastered all over your car. And
I think the big thing is everybody just thinks that I'm crazy, and I'm really not. I'm not crazy. That's the thing. I don't know. I think everybody assumes that if you own an adult store, you're just
some sort of weird sex freak.
Yeah, right, exactly. And to find
you're
out
not denying nor confirming.
No, I'm not. But everybody like asks if you do movies, and when I say no, they're confused. Like, well, why not? Because you own a... That's a completely different career.
Yeah.
Like, why? And like, oh, well, you must be a swinger, so tell me about like the swing clubs. Why do you assume? Everybody has their different
preconceived
fetishes and preferences, and not everybody does everything all the time.
Yeah.
Like, I am not I don't sell porn and also act in it, and also I work at every strip club in town, and also I'm a swinger, and also I have a dungeon in my basement. Like, all of these things are... Some of them might be part of my life. I don't know. But not all of them.
I can see... that was one of those things that was weird for me, just because I'd known you for so long. When we came to your new house, that was a year and a half ago now too, right? More than that, jeez.
So, yeah.
all I could think of was, God, I wonder what her neighbors think. Like, because, I mean, it's a really nice part of town. I wanted to move there myself at one point, but I kept thinking, God, I wonder if her neighbors just, like, walk their dogs past her house and just shoot her the eye all the time.
Well, I'm lucky. Steve and I talk about it all the time, how lucky we are to have found our neighborhood, because I think we found, like, the one part of town that has some nice houses and some super, professional people, but everybody is cool with us. Like, we definitely looked at houses in parts of town where I feel like just driving my car through the neighborhood, people would, like, start throwing things at me. And we live in a part of town where, yeah, we love our neighbors, but everybody's super cool. And
that's cool.
Yeah, it's really nice.
No, nothing out of the ordinary with what, well, because, I mean, like I said, I remember so much from the past. Like, I feel like you've let's say not only moved tax brackets, but like life brackets in my mind. Like, I just see it that way because you've just done so well, and I'm very proud of you for that, by the way. But it makes me feel good that my friends are smart enough to not all be living in a gutter.
I'm proud of you too.
Well,
we made it out of the gutter.
Yeah, I'm not living in the gutter, but I feel like I'm working in it most days. Well, that's cool, because it's just to see all of those changes and stuff over the course of the years has been been interesting. Which is another reason why I wanted to get you on here, because I get to ask you questions and make you feel uncomfortable, possibly. But so far, not yet. No, I was gonna say, here they come. No. Is there anything that you want to try that you haven't done yet, like scuba diving? People are like, oh, I want to go scuba diving. I want to go skydiving. I would think that if you wanted to do something, you would just go do it. I definitely do not want to go scuba diving or skydiving. Those things terrify me. I'm sure there's something that I want to do that I've done. I want to travel more, but that's a really boring answer. But like, I don't go anywhere because I'm just too busy, and I can't leave the stores, and then there's babies, and then there's so I definitely want to do that. But let me see if I can think of something more exciting. I don't know. I'm gonna think of something like tomorrow, and I'm gonna videotape myself and send it to you and be like, and then we'll put it in, we'll stick it in.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, if you think of it later on in the interview, you could just say, "Hey, you know what?" Well, let me ask you this question then: with bridging the gap between your work life and your home life, because I'm always trying to get a feel for people on how they deal with like social media and stuff like that. You've got like 500 personal followers on like Instagram and stuff like that. I don't know. You've got Twitter too, right?
Not a personal one.
Not a personal.
Just taboo.
Just I don't do Twitter yet. I'm working on that too.
Who
has the time?
I know.
And it's the thing with a couple of things. I've always fought like, or every time I see something new that comes out that's like the latest buzz, Twitter, the Wii, like the Nintendo Wii. When that came out, I was like, that's never going to do good.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, nobody's ever going to do that. The whole point of playing video games is you sit there and don't do anything.
Right.
I was so wrong about that.
I totally thought you were talking about like a new
the toy.
No, oh no. We can talk about the toy. No, I thought that the Wii was like a new Twitter.
Oh,
like there's more. There's something else I have to join. One? Damn it!
They picked the wrong name. No, like, do you think that that people having that kind of access to you online, knowing all your things and seeing pictures of everything. I mean, granted, you're the one posting that stuff, but you're posting it for the people that you care about and for your own benefit. But it opens the door to people that might be a little more.
Yeah, it's weird.
Does it help it or hinder it? Do you think, like business wise?
Well, probably helps, but I have a Facebook, and Taboo has a Facebook, and Taboo has a Twitter, and I don't use it for personal stuff at all. And for a while, my Instagram and Taboo's were the same, and I was really enjoying that because I felt like it showed, the
diversity,
right? And I have, I mean, not just porn and babies in my life, but I mean, I have, but it's kind of two very different things.
Yeah.
And so to me, it's all me, and so I wanted to be able to post pictures of like, look at this crazy DVD Taboo just got, and also here's my child, and in the same place. But then I kind of quickly realized that just wasn't going to work, that I needed to be able to have a real Taboo Instagram to promote Taboo, and that I wasn't going to allow people that I don't know to follow pictures of my children. So now they're separate, but it is kind of weird because I get friend requests from people all the time that I know me through Taboo that I really don't know, and
well enough,
and I want to communicate with all my customers, and I want to be friends with my customers, but at the same time, if all I know about you is that you just bought some tranny porn and now you want to follow me and like see, I mean, not the people who buy tranny porn are bad, because I have a lot of friends who love tranny porn. I'm talking about you.
See, at first I thought you said granny porn. I was like, I'm totally down. No.
But like, you know, if I don't know anything about you really at all, then I don't know.
Well, it's, I mean, just
you need to be
honestly knowing just that about somebody is no different than knowing that they take their car to Firestone.
Right,
or something.
right.
Like, it's not,
the point is I don't know you.
You don't know. Yeah, it's like I know one thing about you. That doesn't make us friends.
Yeah.
That's the thing that I've done with like my business and stuff. Not that I have to seek out people that want to follow. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, I'm doing this. If you're interested, you know, click the link.
Right. Yeah.
People like flock to your stuff because everybody loves porn.
Right. Exactly.
Well, 99% of the world loves porn.
Everybody loves porn. Some of them don't admit it.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Everybody loves porn. Everybody loves porn except the people that don't, and those people are lying.
Right. That's my new marquee.
Yeah. There you go.
Put all that up there.
But no, I just wondered if it, since you became a mom, like that. It's not like you haven't It's not like you haven't kept being as wild of a person as you are, but do you feel like you turn it off when you go home and
I don't have to yet.
Turn parts of it off? Well, that's true. Yeah, well, that's coming.
My daughter picked up a condom wrapper a couple days ago and was like, "Mommy, what's this?" I was like, "Oh, that's trash. Can you put that in the trash can?" I made her throw away my condom wrapper, and then I texted Steve and I was like, "I just made our child throw away our condom."
See, that's one of those stories. That
to everybody else. I have them. I just can't think of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're too young now to know, but I very soon I'm going to have to be careful about what I say and what I mean. I can come home from the office and leave a big bag of porn on the kitchen table and nobody knows, you know, but they're, as they get older, I'm going to have to be more.
It's going to be a little more tricky.
Yeah, right.
Do you think you're going to separate those, like, you know, I'm a secret agent during the day and just like keep those two things completely independent, or
no?
I mean, I know you're not ashamed of what you do.
No. I'll definitely let them know.
I'm asking for two reasons.
It's kind of weird because they can't. My kids aren't going to be able to come into my store for 18 years.
Yeah.
You know, like I mean, everybody visits their parent at the office, and everybody, you know, and I will be totally open about what I do and what I sell to my kids whenever they're old enough to understand it. Like I'm not gonna change anything about that, but they'll never be able to come there, which is kind of weird, especially since I've already decided that my daughter is my heiress and she has to take over the business, so I'm going to throw her into it. She's never going to seen it before, but I think I'm not going to keep things but so separate. I mean, obviously I'm not going to expose them to anything they shouldn't be exposed to, but mommy sells things that make people happy, and
and I asked that for two reasons. One is I'm sort of a new dad too, so but they're older than yours, so I'm like I'm playing catch up. I'm trying to make sure I'm doing things okay.
Don't ask me.
Well,
I just started to.
Does anybody ever think they really know? Because so far I haven't met one person who I look at and go, they totally have their shit together, and nobody has their shit together. So that makes me feel good that the person who can move mountains and build porn empires is still like, I have no idea what I'm going to do about the kids yet.
No,
that's good.
Whatever.
All right. Well, then I don't feel so bad.
Totally fine.
So I'm guessing that the kids are one of the things you're most proud of.
Absolutely.
That's what all parents say.
Yes.
Is there anything else you're most proud of other than the store? Okay. You have a lot of things to be proud of.
Other than everything in your life.
Other than everything that you've just told me about, is there anything else you're very proud of? I would say that's pretty much what rules your life now, is your kids in your stores. It kind of is.
So I think I'm most proud of my kids, and I'm very proud of my stores, and I'm very happy with everything
just life
else.
In general.
Yeah.
I
don't know if like proud is the word. You know,
damn it! I needed somebody with like troubles and struggles, and you're not helping this. No, you got married.
I did.
What? 4 years, 5? I don't know. You better know this more than me. I'm the one just asking the question.
4. We just had our 4-year anniversary. Yes.
God, I didn't know I was going to confuse her so bad. Where'd you meet?
We met at a friend's restaurant. Some friends, my best friend had told me, had mentioned him, and I'd seen him around, and she'd say, Steve, blah, 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 and I would say, who? And she would say, that guy that you're supposed to be with. And I was like, oh yeah, whatever, that guy. For like a couple of years, and then we finally actually like really talked for the first time one night.
That's cool. So she was just joking around, or she really?
No, she really thought that. Yeah, she totally thought that, but she didn't really make the effort because I was like, oh yeah, whatever, he's cute, and maybe sometime we'll talk, And then she finally decided to make it happen, and all she had to do, honestly, was like get us in the same place, at the same time. And he pretty much never left my house after that. And that was,
that's what homeless people do.
That's what it was. That's why he said
he was just a very charming homeless man.
Yeah.
I am now so far behind in my questions that I'm like, I'm all lost. Plus, this thing's going weird on me. But I guess I will get into the weirder questions because we've done all the basic touchy-feely stuff. So I will ask the...
Now we're getting into the real touchy-feely.
We're going to get into the real touchy-feely stuff.
Touchy-feely?
Not really well, I'll turn the cameras off for that. No. The way I've been trying to do a lot of these things is, or my concept for a lot of this is to, we know the public you, we know the, but see, I feel like I'm out of sorts now because the public you is so open.
Yeah.
That to ask these questions seems really redundant now because it's like the next question would be, do you have any personal fetishes, and what are they? But like I feel like your normal day to day is like many people's fetish. So
my personal fetish is no one knowing what my personal fetish is. That's what gets me on.
That's a good answer. That's a good answer. I feel bad for Steve that he has to figure it out, but
I know he's still trying.
Yeah. Well, if you could have done anything else, like if you hadn't gone into fashion marketing and you hadn't done any of that stuff, what would you have wanted to do?
Well, I mean, what I really wanted to do was be a writer for forever, since I was a child up until the first couple years of college. And I still would love to, but I'm not going to, I mean, so I kind of, to be more realistic about it, I would love some kind of career in writing, even, like I've done articles for small publications, usually based on the adult industry. And I would love to do more of that. But if we're saying I never became involved in the adult industry at all, I wanted to be, a poet or a novelist. Anything to do with books, really.
Have you thought about, I mean, you've got an interesting story, from, I don't want to say rags to riches, it sounds stupid, from whatever to, whatever it was before to what you're doing now. Have you thought about writing that?
I've thought about it a lot, but I feel like I haven't quite found the right angle. I don't know. I mean, I think it's an interesting career for sure, but I haven't really found, I don't know, I feel like I'm not the only, young woman to get into, adult retail and then have some babies, even though to me it's just a crazy, it's interesting to me, and I think that it's an interesting story, but I don't know that I know the way to write it yet, so maybe someday I will.
Yeah. I mean, if you're that into the writing thing, I would think that would be something that.
And honestly, I don't really have like the time to devote to a writing project that isn't related to the adult industry. Yeah. Maybe one day something will come to me and I'll write the great American novel that has absolutely nothing to do with sex, but probably not. It's more realistic to think
your life has revolved around that particular thing for decades now, I would imagine. So just writing in general, it never would, nothing specific. Like, I want to be a sports writer, I want to be
I wanted to be a poet.
Just a poet.
For a while.
I say just a poet, but...
Well, yeah, but I mean, poetry...
Does poetry even pay?
Of course not.
Everybody wants to do the stuff that does not pay.
Yeah.
I want to do this.
And I wasn't that good at it, honestly. Like, I was never a good, I don't know. I feel like I am somewhat of a talented writer, but I think that I never got beyond the, like, the teen angst poetry. I mean, not, that sounds bad. I wasn't that bad, but, like, real poets are way more talented than I am, and I never studied it. I dropped the English major without doing a lot of creative writing classes and stuff. Not that you need that, but anyway.
The one thing I never have really understood about things like that is, kind of like there's certain poetry I view like an art film.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've seen people like who make short films that are just amazing. Like they tell the story, they get to the point, they do this, they do that, they explain a bunch of stuff, they make you think, they do that. And then I see art films that come from people who've been in the same classes, done all the same stuff, and you just watch it going, what the hell am I watching? Like, oh, this was an homage to this, and that was an homage to... Well, just tell your own damn story. Don't, you know what I mean? So I feel like there's some poets or some poetry that, I guess for lack of a better word, insists upon itself. Like, I'm very important because I'm saying these things, even if it invokes no emotion. I mean, and I guess it does for some people. I guess that's part of that's the difference in people. But there's some things that universally I can look at and go, that's not my thing, but I understand why people like it.
Yeah.
And then there's things where I just can't wrap my brain around it. And that, I wonder if that's...
I considered going, trying to get my master's in creative writing after I had already opened Taboo and everything. But it kind of scared me because I thought it would ruin me a little bit, you know? Like, I kind of feel like if you learn too much and you try too hard, then it's always going to sound contrived and
preachy.
Right. And I think to be a good writer, a poet especially, you have to have talent, but you also have to practice, and maybe not learn quite so much as practice. But I mean, there's certainly a lot of wonderful writers who have learned a lot in school.
Well,
and I never did, so I can't talk trash on it.
There's people that once it becomes too cranial, or whatever that phrase is, like when it's all brain and no emotion or you know, feeling for it, then that's where, I mean, I've seen people go over that line. Yeah. Where, you know,
and their stuff totally changes.
Yeah, and it's sad.
Write drunk, edit sober.
Yeah.
You know, it has to just come out of you without thinking about it too much, and then you can go back in and tweak it and make it.
Yeah. That's a good. I've never heard that before. That's good.
Oh, it's not mine. But as long as as long as it's coming out of you and it's real.
Well, for me, when I'm drunk, there's a truth that comes out that soberness keeps behind bars, I guess.
Yeah, yep,
Which
exactly.
Sometimes it's good and sometimes it's bad, but sometimes it just makes you aware of it. Like there's things, you know, I'm sure in your days of revelry as well, you've had things that you've done, you're like, hey, that makes a good idea for this.
Yeah.
I can see how all the partying and having fun with the store would give you more ideas for new things. So I don't know why I got way off subject on that, but it was interesting. I like
That's
coming up with things.
Interview.
Exactly. Well, since I can't close out with the fetish question, and we've already bypassed that, I want to thank you for coming and doing this.
Thank
this
you.
is one of my pet projects that I'm working on. So to have people that I like and know be involved is
well. Thanks for
awesome.
asking me. I am flattered and honored.
Well, hopefully I didn't sound too much of an ass during
this. No, not at all.
I tend to overthink things when I start rolling.
No,
so I'm always worried that I'm gonna come across like he's just fishing here for something else.
No,
I guess that's because it's usually how I talk to people.
I know you too well to know.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna say that's usually how I talk to people in bars. I'm like,
yeah.
How can I get this person to buy me a drink? She's with her husband, and he's right there, but I'm pretty sure I can talk them both into buying me a drink. But, well, thank you for coming,
Thank you.
I will come into the new stores so that I
Please.
can pretend that I know what I'm talking about again.
In.
And thank you again. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right.